Shalom, family. So, in this morning's Torah portion that we did on Genesis chapter 11, we talked about building, and we were challenged to take a look at what we were building and how we were building. So, if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to go back and check out that video. So, in this video, we're going to talk about what needs to happen before you can build anything. So we learned that when it comes to the assembly of believers, when it comes to the body of believers, that we each are precious living stones that are being built together into a spiritual house. And that our Messiah, Yahusha, is the one that's doing the building through the Spirit of the Most High. So we as people, we have the tendency to look at outward things and the things that we're building with our hands and the things that other people can see outwardly and can look on and admire. We tend to pay more attention to those outward things. But we learned in 1 Corinthians this morning that it talked about us, our very being. It talked about us being the building of Yahuwah and being the field of Yahuwah, collectively and as individuals. So our lives and our very being, our body, our soul, our spirit, have now become the handiwork of the Master. And he wants to build us up from the inside out, not just the outside that we are so used to paying attention to, but from the inside out. So let me share with you what the Ruach was sharing with me this morning. So many of us appear to be held together on the outside. We have the appearance of strength, and we have the appearance of wholeness. Yet the reality is we're falling apart on the inside. So Yah wants to build us up on the inside in a very real, in a very lasting way. But in order for him to get to the inside of us, in order to do that, we have to be willing to release that false image, that outer illusion of having it all together that we're holding on to. Because that illusion is acting as a protective covering that on one end is keeping us from falling apart, but it's also keeping us stagnant. Because if we move or make any attempts to move forward, our whole tower is going to come crashing down. And while we may think that it's been useful to us in holding us together, it's also keeping Yah out by blocking the Spirit from entering in and moving to do his work of restoration. Our old bricks that we place the mortar over to hold everything in place just right so that we look good to everybody else is now a hindrance. And Yah can't use any of those materials in his construction because he's doing a new thing that's built on his foundation, which means that all of our old materials have to go. So when Yah commissioned the prophet Jeremiah for his work, he gave him authority to uproot, to pull down, to destroy, to overthrow, and then to build and to plant. So before you can build and plant, you must first overthrow whatever is currently standing because it is exalting itself against the knowledge of Yah. You must uproot every root of everything growing in the field because it is either a weed that's going to choke out the future growth, or it's a tree that's failing to bear fruit or bearing the wrong fruit. And you must pull down any brick that is left over as residue from your old building because it is now incompatible with the new structure that Yah is putting together. So you must allow him to come in and break down every false thing that's holding you up and occupying space inside of you so that he can build you up with eternal elements that are full of his life. So the Spirit will begin to break up all of your unplowed ground and prepare the soil of your heart to receive good seed, which is going to grow strong roots and be built up into a strong tree, because now it's going to be planted by the waters of his word to be nourished so that it will bear good fruit of the Spirit. The seeds that the Spirit is going to plant in you is his word, and the bricks that are building you up on the inside is the knowledge of his word, the understanding of his word, the wisdom from his word, the fear of Yah, and his might and his strength. So those elements will gird you up and cause you to be firmly rooted and built up in him and fit to be placed together as a precious living stone in his house that will bring him glory, bring him honor, and bring him esteem. So those elements will cause you to stand firm through the trials and through the testing of your faith and allow the work that he's building through you as a continuation of the work that he's building in you to flourish and bear fruit that's pleasing to him. Let me say that again. The work that he's building through you is going to be a continuation of the work that he's building in you. There's no work that's going to be flourishing that you build on your own. Only through you surrendering to the work that he wants to do in you will the work that he builds through you be able to flourish and bear good fruit that's pleasing unto him. So hallelujah, that is the word. Torah to Yahuwah and to Messiah Yahusha for the work of the Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart spirit of Yah. Thank you for your word, Father. Hallelujah. Shalom Aleichem, family.